Now let's look at an example of thinking about and talking about the energy changes in a system. So to begin with, we're going to look at a system, and it's kind of described here, but I'm going to add the Earth to our system because it has to be there in order for us to include gravitational potential energy. And in our initial state, we have a box that's held above the ground by a man. Notice that the man is not in our system. So I'm going to draw a picture of this, and like I said earlier in a previous video, that anything that's not in our system is like it's wearing a green screen suit. And so I drew our man as green. We're going to edit him out of the video. He's totally holding that box right now, but he is not part of our system. So we can't count any energy that he might be contributing to the system. In our final state, he's still there, but again, he's not part of our system, so he doesn't count. So any energy that he might contribute just doesn't matter. Okay, we won't list any energy that he might contribute to our system. So in our initial state, the only energy that matters is what the box has. And because we're holding the box above the ground, that means there is gravitational potential energy. If you want to write a note that we have gravitational potential energy because it's above the ground, you could do that. You could also just kind of circle it or highlight it over here. It is above the ground, okay? Now in the final state, it is falling. It's in the process of falling, so it hasn't reached the ground yet, okay? So there's two things going on here now. We've got two types of energy that we need to include. We have the kinetic energy because it's falling, because it's in the act of moving, okay? And because it's still above the ground, so it's halfway to the ground, it's going to still have some gravitational energy. But there's less because it's closer to the ground, okay? So there we've identified the kinds of energy. What we're going to do next is we're going to describe the energy transfer or transformations that happen in our system. So what I would do here is I would start by talking about what we started with and what we ended with. And then usually it's pretty easy after that, right? So the box begins with gravitational potential energy. Okay, we already identified that. Then that energy is transformed. I picked transformed because the box is what has the energy. The energy isn't going anywhere else, and so it is changing type, not going to another object. It's transformed to kinetic energy as it falls, but it still has some gravitational potential energy. It just has less, and that's because it has not reached the ground yet. And so that is how I would write a statement, a sentence. I guess there's 3 sentences there about what's happening to the energy in my system. If you have any questions about how you might do this or answer questions, make sure you ask your teacher. Thanks for watching.